Oh, hi there. I'm going to give you the gist of cosmic events that happen in space in the known universe. Okay, let's start from the simple beginning. Um, our galaxy, the Milky Way, is one in 100 million galaxies in the universe. Okay, so there are a lot of galaxies. A lot of them are really small. Some of them are so colossal you have no idea. Like IC 1101, the largest known galaxy in the universe. Mostly a dead galaxy, not much is going on there, but it's one of the largest ones known. Anyway, the Milky Way, fair-sized galaxy. New stars are being born. Fairly alive. Things are going on over here. It's suspected that the Milky Way was created shortly after the Big Bang, when several dwarf galaxies, which basically are small galaxies, formed and became the Milky Way. Now, some people get confused with terminology. The solar system is basically within a galaxy, and it's our alignment of planets around our sun. The sun is a colossal thing on its own, but our sun, which is a star, is actually not too terribly that big a star, really. There are a lot of other stars that are a lot bigger than that one. But even so, you could fit over 1 million planet Earths within it. So this thing is not that big, but it's the biggest thing that we can see in the sky. Somehow everything's just worked out perfect. I mean, we live in a fairly quiet part of the universe, quiet part of the galaxy, and things should be alright. Although there are what they call monsters in space. And they're not your typical aliens like the sci-fi movies and things like that. There are things like hypervelocity stars, which happen because of black holes. Now, we can't exactly see black holes, but a black hole is basically something where light can't escape from it. It has nothing around it. It has things orbiting it, but that's when it's at the tip of its event horizon, which is basically the distance between the center of the black hole and the edge of the black hole's sphere of influence, where even light cannot escape. Certainly not planets or anything like that. Well, in theory, anyway. So when these dwarf galaxies formed to make the Milky Way, most of their black holes formed into this supermassive one. I've heard figures that it's 5 million times the mass of the sun, and I've heard figures that it's 17 billion times the mass of the sun. So this thing is just no words to describe how large this thing is. It's at the center of our galaxy. We're pretty sure it's there. But don't worry, it's like so far away that it's not even a problem. I'll put it to you this way. The Earth and Pluto, when they're at their maximum distance apart, that's not even 1 light year. It's like 0.6 of a light year. So it's not even, it's just barely over half a light year away. Now, the closest known black hole to the planet Earth is, or to our solar system, is 1,500 light years away. So this thing it's not the supermassive black hole in the middle of the galaxy, and it's 1,500 light years away. So, that being said, it's believed that the supermassive black hole's event horizon, which is its sphere of influence, as I said, is about between 7 and 10 light years around it. And so that's about 7 or 10 of our solar systems. So we're about 300 times farther away than we have to be from the closest one. So that's not the supermassive one. That's just the closest black hole that I'm talking about. So, I don't think there's anything to worry about that. I had heard of Nomad or Rogue black holes. Now these are black holes that came about when the dwarf galaxies formed and didn't form into the giant supermassive black hole. They just sort of, somehow they weren't close enough to it or whatever, and somehow they're around, but we have trouble detecting them. But I reckon it isn't anything to be concerned about. Certainly not in our lifetime, or our children's lifetime, or their children's lifetime, or their children's lifetime, or their children's lifetime, and so on and so forth. The only thing that could possibly escape a black hole, though, should it be in its event horizon, is perhaps hypervelocity stars. Now, most stars usually have another star closely to it that orbits it. They orbit each other. And sometimes when one star gets pulled into the black hole, or falls into it, as they like to say, because it's of gravity, it doesn't actually suck things in, it's just gravity, it can send the other one hurling at a phenomenal speed, something like 10,000 miles a second, or 300,000 miles a second, something like that, something outrageous. And some of these stars could be quite big, could eradicate the Earth if one flew our way. We know of several hypervelocity stars in the universe, or in the galaxy, but they're nowhere near Earth. They're not coming our way. So that's something, like when we look in space, we go, "Ooh, look at that! Ooh, look at that! There's that going on. There's something over there." But like I said, we live in a quiet part of the galaxy, and a quiet part of the universe. Things aren't going to stay like this forever, of course, because these cosmic events that happens in space, they're just so phenomenal. I learned the concept of cannibal galaxies from D-News. Basically, a cannibal galaxy is similar to how the dwarf galaxies form the Milky Way. They absorb smaller galaxies to make themselves larger, to bring in new, basically new seeds for new stars and new planets, and the potential to create new life and activity within the universe. It also makes the universe, or the galaxy, larger. And the Milky Way has been cannibalizing nearby galaxies for quite some time, mostly dwarf galaxies, and it's a fair size. However, what goes around comes around, as someone once said, and we're on a collision course with the Andromeda Galaxy. Now, the thing is, that's a bigger galaxy than us. Twice the size as us, actually. Well, not twice the size, it's like, if we're 100%, they're 150%, so they're bigger than us. But we shouldn't be crashing into them until 3-4 billion years from now. So by then, I reckon we'll either have destroyed ourselves, or we'll have thought of a way around it. I mean, we got lots of time. Yeah. Yeah, the sun is also getting hotter. It's gonna go into its red giant stage. I think something in like 100 million years, something like that. I don't know. Or maybe next week. I don't know. You can't. What if the internet's lying? What if they're not telling you the truth? I don't think anything drastic's gonna happen anytime soon. But I tend to believe what I see, and a lot of people that I've seen on videos who study things in space are often quite fascinated and excited about things that happen in space. They don't seem genuinely terrified of these giant, humongous, colossal things that could destroy us, and there's nothing we could do to stop them if they happened to be a little bit closer to us. That doesn't seem to be too much of a concern. We're obsessed with space, though, however. So much more so than people think. It's kind of in the background, but, like, in my younger years, I never even thought about space too much. Like, I played StarCraft, so I went, there's no such thing as aliens, so I dismissed the whole space thing. But, yeah, there are cosmic events out there that are pretty important stuff. In fact, we have a whole division, NASA, and dedicated strictly to observation of space. And I doubt there's intelligent life in the universe, or significant intelligent life in the universe. This whole Independence Day aliens type of thing, I don't believe in it. I think there is, for sure, some shape or form of life out there. And I think there's also other Earth-like inhabitable planets. Supposedly we found a few of them, but they're a little bit far away, or we're not exactly sure what they are. They could be gas planets or whatever, and that has to be taken into consideration. Now, basically what I'm doing is I've watched some stuff on black holes, the universe, the galaxies, red dwarfs, red giants, hypervelocity stars, and I'm just summing everything up from what I've read and the gist of what I understand. Now, this is a lot more complicated a subject than I know. You can't just watch YouTube videos and learn everything about it, but the general consensus I'm getting is that these things are serious events, but they're not going to affect us anytime soon. And I did make a video making the point that perhaps Earth could be turned into a space station on its own if we just figured out how to manipulate our orbit around the sun, because there are other stars that we could orbit, and we could calculate the correct distance to be away from them. Or even we could just push the Earth further away from the sun so that when the sun does go into its red giant stage, we're far enough away that it won't affect us. And I think the manipulation of gravity and our orbit is an attainable feat. It's much more attainable than building a space station out of metal to house people and grow food and sustain life. At least on a large scale anyway. Because the thing is, the planet Earth exists in space. So we already know it's capable of being a space station. We got to put a steering wheel on it, that's all. Point it in the right direction. And with absolute confidence in our mathematical ability, we can calculate exactly how far away we need to be from rival planets, the stars, black holes, and we could position ourselves in the future. I'm not saying this is at all possible at this point in time, but perhaps, I don't know, 5,000 years from now, assuming mankind still exists, assuming we haven't destroyed each other yet, because you have to remember we have problems down here on Earth because we have to share this planet with people we don't like. But assuming all that, with the rate technology's improving at, I think in the future, the evil invading aliens onto other planets is going to be humans. We're going to be the evil invading aliens. So, that in consideration, I think we have a really promising future, and as Leonard Nimoy would say, look to the skies. Anyway, my point of this video was to say, look, there is stuff that's going on in the universe, but it's being looked after by top men. So there's nothing to worry about. Although, when I get some money together, I'm going to buy me a nice fancy telescope so I can observe things in space myself. Perhaps even go to school and learn a little bit about astronomy and the universe. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.